Okay, we're live, gentlemen. We're live. Jaimex, get it going.
Right on, brothers. Welcome to another edition of Rolling with the Punches, everybody. We thank everybody for joining us here this beautiful Sunday here in Southern California. We have a special guest today, Ivan the Stryker Delgado. He's fights for Golden Boy. We're going to talk a little bit about him and what he has going on his comeback trail, as well as the fights from last night. We had some beautiful fights, some controversy. That's always good to talk about. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dave Trujillo from House of Pena here in Temecula. Welcome the champion Mighty Mike Anchondo from Los Angeles, and Fort Lauderdale's only David Contreras. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. Let's get this started. David, what's your first question?
You know what? First of all, Ivan, thank you very much for being on the show. It's a privilege to have you. We understand that you got a fight coming up. I got a chance to see when you fought Tanajara.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of your losses, but it was a great fight. And I got a chance to see that. I Googled you a little bit, and I understand you got a good fight coming up. Tell us about this fight that's coming up.
Yeah, I got a fight coming up. Right, it's gonna be in New Jersey. It's gonna be with PBC Boxing. I'm not with Golden Boy no more. The fight's gonna be in New Jersey under the card. I believe the main event is gonna be Dominic Brazil, and I'm gonna be fighting Carl Dargan. He's 19-1, and I think it's gonna be a good fight. You know, he's been out for a couple years. I've been out for 19 months. You know, and I feel that the fight is gonna let's see who's hungry. You know what I'm saying? And believe me, I'm in this stage in my life where I feel that everything I've been through is I've been through it for a reason, and right now that's all I think about, just fighting, you know. And I can't wait to fight this July 31st. I believe I'm gonna be the opening bout in Fox Sports. So I hopefully stay tuned. You know, hopefully you guys able to watch it, and you guys are gonna win as a different type of fighter, and I hope you guys like it. You know.
Hey, we're looking forward to it. Before we came on the air, we were talking about you actually knowing or seeing Mighty Mike, our world champion, on our show. Tell us a little bit about what you remember of Mighty Mike.
Oh, it's a trip right now that you mentioned Mighty Mike Anchondo. It was like, man, like, damn. I mean, he's not as famous as certain people, but I think he's underrated. You know, he was a great lightweight. You know, at that time, you know, he was during that time when Valero was fighting. I believe during that time of that gym, I was training LA Boxing Club. That was back in the day. LA Boxing Club was like the main gym right there back in the days in Los Angeles. You know,
that was the main street.
Margarito was there. Maromero Paez. I was training there with Leo. I grew up training with Leo Santa Cruz. It was me and my boy Flavio. Urbano Antillon. There was a lot of fighters there, you know, Leo Santa Cruz brothers, you know, Rudy Hernandez, Victor Hernandez, the brothers of Chicanito Hernandez.
That's right.
I remember, man, being the kid right there, just observing the pro sparring, and I remember, man, he was a really good fighter. You know, I looked up to him, and I thought he was a really great fighder. He was really, as a matter of fact, he was really, really fast, you know. And when he caught my attention, I used to trip out on him, you know.
Yeah. You have any questions for him, Mighty Mike and Coach Dave?
You know, just listening to you, it just takes me back. I was lost for a minute when you're naming all those names and taking me back to the LA boxing gym. I got lost for a minute back there. You know, I appreciate that you observed everything, and that you're able to now remember and help me remember how awesome it was to be able to train at the LA boxing gym in front of legends. I mean, legends, you know, even Shane Mosley was there, you know, Margarito, of course, was there. And that's where I used to train with Chato Robles at that time. And you know what? We had Israel Vasquez and Martin Castillo, all them guys, you know, and I've named them before, and they're legends, you know, and I appreciate him being able to tell us about it. You know, I do.
Yeah. Coach Dave, do you have anything to ask Ivan, Coach?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you congratulations for being able to pick up a great fight like that. Being awesome. Mainstream on PBC, man, you know, for your first time back. So congratulations for that. How do you feel? How does it feel to be able to grab a fight like that? I mean, your first time come back. I mean, because sometimes we don't get those opportunities, but I know that you're a dog in the ring. So that being said, I mean, they're not going to pass you up for a good fight.
I feel good, you know, taking that type of fight, you know, like I'm not gonna take no easy fight. But like, I mean, Carl Dargan, he's been out the ring for a couple of years,
Obvious.
but I mean, he's not an easy opponent too, you know.
Good for
Sure.
you. Man.
He has a record. He's 19-1, and I mean, I feel good, you know, those taking those type of fights, because at the end of the day, those are the type of fights that I want to take, and I want to be able to showcase and win, you know. Like when he mentioned when I fought Hector Tanajara in Mexico, man. First of all, that fight he had a headbutt in the fourth round. The headbutt wasn't even bothering him or nothing like that. And then the ref, man, what kind of thing is that? The referee stopped the fight when in reality the doctor's supposed to stop the fight, you know. So I feel like I got cheated off in that fight, you know. It was in the fourth round. But anyways, that's in the past, you know. And I still remember that Robert Garcia walked up to me, told me, man. I said, man, I know what you were gonna do in the next couple of rounds. He just said it just they stopped the fight, and he said he was gonna give me a rematch, you know. But Tanajara just lost, so I mean, I'll love the rematch with those that I lost, because I feel like I wasn't 100 in those type of fights, you know. But I feel good, you know, taking these type of fights is gonna be a good fight on July 31st in New Jersey, and I just can't wait to fight that thing, you know. I want to be able to. I know I'm gonna win for sure that fight, you know. I've been training extra hard, and like my trainer told me one day, you know, if you're training 100, I don't see nobody beating you right now, you know. And a lot of people have never really seen my talent, but I believe that I'm a great fighter, you know, and the best of me is yet to come, you know.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes, my man. You just gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta continue to do what you're doing. You're doing it right. That's it, man. Listen to your trainer, bro. You can do it, man.
Stay dedicated and stay focused, you know, and that's what I'm doing nowadays. You know, for some reason I had distractions. I was, you know, I come from the streets, you know. I grew up in South Central LA, and I want to be the next champion that after Chicanito Hernandez, and we haven't had another champion, and I feel that, and I would like to be the next one, you know.
A great champion right there.
Hey, Stryker, you're in a great division, 135. I mean, that's a great division. We saw Rolly Romero last night, and I'll tell you, everybody wants him to fight Gervonta Davis, but you know what? I'm not impressed with Rolly Romero. Yes, he does strike, he does hit hard, but he's open. And
I think he opens up a lot, you know. At the end of the day, he opens up a lot, and I mean,
you got to get inside.
Yeah, he opens up a lot, you know. A lot of people don't know that. No, I'm actually a defensive fighter, and I'm a really good counterpuncher, you know. And you guys are gonna be able to see. So when is my type of fighting, you guys hopefully, you know, I know you guys are gonna notice that I'm just a different type of fighter, you know. I grew up with Leo Santa Cruz, and I believe we have a similar style, you know. We close up, counterpunch a lot, you know. But it's gonna be a good fight, July 31st. Hopefully you guys don't miss it, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, I can't wait. We're going to definitely be watching it. Yes.
And we will talk about it. Yeah, man.
Jaime.
Yeah, I got a quick question. Out of all the fighters out there right now, who do you see is the most dominant in your division?
And 135?
Right.
135.
Who's your target, man?
Who's my target? My target is, man, I mean, what can I tell you? You know, I sparred all of them. I sparred Ryan Garcia. I sparred Oscar Valdez. I sparred Joseph Diaz. I sparred Lomachenko. And me being able to, I sparred Jorge Linares. I sparred John Molina. And me being able to compete with them and being able to see that that we're going at it with them back and forth in the ring, then I know that it's a matter of time of me being at their level. You know, I feel like I just got to get a little more familiar with the ring, a little bit more fights. I've been ring rust for a couple years, you know, but I feel like, you know, who knows, you know, like good 5 fights, you know, that I do good. I feel like that I'll be able to compete with them, you know.
You can do it, my man. You can do it. You got the mindset. That's great.
But who do you see is the top dog right now in that division?
The top dog, well, evidently right now, I believe is Gervonta Davis, you know. I believe Gervonta Davis is the one that has actually he's showing his power, he's showing his talent, he's showing his hunger, and I believe that they you know, he talks the talk, you know. I believe that he's a at the end of the day, he's a hard worker, and his dedication is 100, you know, and he has the mentality of Mayweather, regardless of what they think about Mayweather. Mayweather was a hardworking guy, you know, and that's why a lot of people hate him, because he really did what he did, you know. He really trained hard, and that's all that he had in his mind was winning, you know.
Simplified.
Agreed.
Well, Stryker, we can't wait to see you. Yeah, we can't wait to see you. I will definitely be watching you. We'll definitely be watching you, and right after the fight, we'll have you back on the show so you could tell us all about the victory and everything that you went through during and after the fight. God
We'd
willing.
love it.
Yeah.
We'd love it. Definitely.
So Jaime, we're getting ready now for talking about last night's fight. We had Rolly Romero fighting, and I was not impressed, like I said before. And we had the Charlos. Start it off, Jaime, and then after Jaime, we'll go with Coach Dave, and then we'll go around to Mike, and then we'll hear from you, Stryker. Start it off.
I think you already kind of covered Romero.
Yeah.
You know, he needs a little bit something else in his arsenal.
Yeah.
He spice up, you know, just a little bit. He's not too far behind, but you know, he needs to tighten up a little bit on his defense, I think. But I was more wanting to talk about Charlo, man. A lot of controversy. I had it actually pretty close, but I had him losing the fight. I was kind of disappointed though that that it wasn't, that the pressure wasn't really there towards the end. You know, that he lost those last 2-3 rounds, in my opinion. The 12th was pretty close. Could have gone, you know, either way or a draw, but he lost 2 of the 3 from the 10 to 12. He lost 2 of the 3. But I had him dominating that fight before that, you know, just winning those rounds, just by pure rounds. He was winning that fight. I wasn't impressed with him. I don't know, man. I expected more from the Charlo brothers. Actually, from both of them, the last 2 fights, they were exposed.
Yeah. What about you, Coach Dave? I know you look at the feet, you look at everything. Give us your opinion, Coach Dave.
Well, you know, I'm on the same lines as Jaime. You know, we all watched the same fight, and I believe that Castano should have got the W on that one. The Charlo brothers are being exposed, and they're stepping into higher competition, and this is what's happening. Okay, so the pressure's starting to come now. Now with the pressure, how are they handling it? Now, Charlo even had Castano hurt, you know, for a minute there, in the 8th round, I believe. It was the 8th round, 8th or 9th round, somewhere around there. And, you know, he couldn't finish. He didn't turn up the speed. He didn't have the dog in him. He didn't have what it took to try to finish him off. You know, he let him survive, and then Castano came back, you know. So as for the Charlo brothers, the pressure's on now. They're fighting the more higher quality fighters. Their boxing, you know, is sound, but now I have to look at the heart. It's what's in the corazón.
Yeah.
You know, can you finish? Can you take those championship rounds and actually dominate? No, I don't think either one of them are doing it now. So, you know, that being said, the hype of the brothers, it's going to start to fade, I believe. It's going to start to fade a little bit from the true fans. The true fans are going to really look at them as, you know, hey, unless they turn around and start knocking guys out again and dropping them, but you know, you can't do it with these guys. These guys are too experienced. They got too much ring experience, number one, and they're seasoned in there with the higher quality of opponent. And that's pretty much all I have to say is the heat is on now, and you're not answering the call.
Well, Mighty Mike, champ, last week you called it. You said you called it, man. You
Uncle
said,
Nacho.
Hey,
Uncle Nacho.
You said a little bird by the name of Nacho told me that that Castaño's going to take it, and you know what? You were absolutely right. Introduce me to the little bird one of these days when I go to Vegas.
Definitely.
I'd like to meet that
We're
little
gonna
bird.
have him, Uncle Nacho's hour.
Yeah.
What I will say is this.
What's your opinion?
What I will say is this. We have to remember Charlo has so much pressure on him. He's got so much pressure on him to do exactly what Dave mentioned earlier, to dominate as the champion that he is. Now, Castellano? He came in strong. Castano, excuse me. He came in strong. And he knew it. And he had nothing to lose, and he showed it. And you know what? he put on such a great fight. In the beginning of the fight, he just came on and kept pressing, and you could tell that Charlo was very uncomfortable with that. Castaño did exactly what Castaño was supposed to do. He was a shorter person in the fight, and he was the dog in the fight. He was the one that had to win the fight, definitely, and he took it to him, and he did exactly what he needed to do. I will tell you this, though. Charlo had the popularity back of him, of course, and he has the championships in back of him, of course. Mind you, Castellano is champion as well. Charlo had more of the titles under his belt. So, I mean, he got the nod because when you're the dominant champion coming into the fight, that's usually kind of what happens, really. I will say this, though. Castellano, I do believe he irked throughout the rounds. I want to say at least by one or two tops. I mean, mind you, this is giving him the least amount of rounds possible because there may have been more. And I may have people saying no, he's got a little bit more, but I saw him dominating the fight, and he put on a great fight, great way that a fighter should be able to come and take over the dominant champion, and that's exactly what he did. So, if I could clap my hands for him, I would, because he did a great job.
Outstanding. Stryker, did you get a chance to watch the fight last night? Give us your
I'm
opinion.
gonna be honest with you. I didn't get a chance to watch the fight. I was actually resting, but I seen some of the highlights, and I don't know. It seemed like it was a really good fight. It seemed like it was a really good fight, and from what I hear, it's something familiar that happened to me. When I fought Joanne Gonzalez, he was 8-0, 8 knockouts, and he was a favorite, and he was in Golden Boy. I mean, they gave me a draw too. I thought I won the fight, and they gave me a draw. It wasn't for a championship belt or nothing like that, but it's for the simple fact that they wanted him to keep the O.
Yeah.
And I feel like it seems like that's what happened in this situation. It seems like I seen the highlights, and it seemed like Castaño was really putting the pressure, like he really wanted to win. And I felt like that Charlo was slacking on certain things. Like somebody said, he wasn't able to finish him. And that's what it seemed. It seemed like he wasn't able to finish him. Cause he hurt him a few times, and Castaño was, because it seemed like Castaño had a really good preparation too. Because if he didn't really have the right preparation, then those type of hits, he would have been out already. So mentally, I feel like he was there. He was there, and he really wanted it. And it seems like the cards weren't unfair with him this time.
Well, I'll tell you, Stryker, one of the things I want to tell you, talking about karma, yeah, you lost, on the cards against Joette, but yet look what happened when he fought Shakur Stevenson. That went out the door.
No, I was talking about his brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His brother was 8 wins, 8 knockouts.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And I came in, I fought him on ESPN, and then one of the judges gave me the 58. It was a 6-round fight. They gave me the win, and the other two gave us a draw. So yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I had it 8-4 for Castaño. That's what I had it. What did you have it at, Coach Dave?
7-3.
7-3 for Castaño.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. It was a 9-3.
9-3 Castaño.
Yeah, 9-3 Castaño.
What about you, Jaime? What did you have it?
Same thing, 9-3.
9-3. And what about you, Mighty Mike?
Same thing as you, Dave. I had 8-4. I had 8-4 because I gave Charlo the benefit of the doubt for some rounds.
Me too.
Being the champion that he is, and I knew that the judges will go toward his way, but I did have it 8-4. But you know what? Again, that's just the way the boxing is sometimes, and that's why we have to just nudge our face sometimes.
Exactly. Well, guys, we're at the point where we've talked about the fight. Next week there's a 1 fight or 2 fights. They're I think in England. We don't have any major fights. I think the next major fight here in California is going to be Stryker. We're going to be watching you on the 31st. But
most definitely, Stryker.
Yeah, after you, Stryker, we got on August 14th, we got Virgil Ortiz fighting against Kamalas. And I'm going to tell you guys, That is
I'm gonna
going
see
to
it.
be a war. That's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to that fight. With that said, guys, I think we're now to the point, if it's okay with you, Jaime, if we go to the point where let's ask the champ. We got 3 questions from Roger Demshock. Is it okay, Jaime, if we go ahead and ask the questions? Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right,
Champ,
let's go.
from Roger Demshock. He's a deputy sheriff, retired deputy sheriff from San Diego, California. He's always on our show. He loves the show, and he's our number 1 fan. And I'm his number 1 fan. He was a great police officer. With that said, introducing who asks these questions. Question number 1: who selects the songs when you walk in? Is it the promoter? Is it the venue? Or is it you? And the question is, why do you select those songs? Is it because of your heritage? Does it fire you up? Tell us about the songs.
It all has to do with, what exactly, what you said, your heritage, what strikes, at the time, it's usually the feel of it. What's going to get you hyped up? Stryker, you could chime in on this as well, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. What you feel, and if you feel there's a bad song that you want to go out to and that'll get you up and going, then you're going to pick it. Or if it's something sentimental, of sentimental value, or something that you want to dedicate, it's just a bunch of things. It's what you feel at the time. You know what I mean?
Or whatever, whatever pumps you up too, whatever pumps you up, or whatever is in style. I usually go with something that's gonna pump me up, or at times for my kids or something like that, But
there you go, sentimental value.
But we get to pick what we want,
What's going to be your song on the 31st, Stryker?
Yeah,
I'm still indecisive. It's between 3 of them, so I'm still indecisive. So
all right,
what is it?
Which 3 songs? Let us pick it.
Oldies?
Come on, the 3 songs.
I'm gonna pick it, Stryker.
Nah, it's gonna be either a Spanish song or a Drake song.
How about
no, never mind, a Nipsey Hussle song, South Central.
The gangster. Or some Vicente Fernandez. Is that what you're gonna do?
I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna be fighting in Jersey, and I'm gonna believe I'm fighting in his town, So
I got you. You gotta show him what's up.
Hey, brother, take los Tucanes. Put los Tucanes, anda. A ver qué dicen.
That'd be a good one.
All right, champ. The second question is, when a fighter's preparing for a fight, is it true that it's 90% mental and 10% physical? If so, explain it.
No. And I will tell you this. Of course, mental is very important, and it takes up a lot of it. But you know what? The physical part of it, and preparing for a fight, especially for a championship fight, is unbelievable. You got to wake up in the morning, early in the morning. You got to go to run. You come back. You eat a little bit of something good for you.
And then
later on, you wait for the afternoon. You go straight to the gym after. You Stryker, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then after the gym, then after you come back, you eat a little bit more, and then you go back again later on for preparation for the nighttime. So I wouldn't say that it's just solely the feel of it at that moment. It's you got to do a lot more, man.
Okay, Stryker, you want to add anything else on that?
I think he's right. It's hard. I wake up literally every day in the morning. I'm up at 5 a.m. By 5:30, I'm already running 6-7 miles. I go back to the house, eat a little bit.
There you go.
I go train in the morning, so I go right back to the gym, and then I come back home. Maybe I take like an hour or 2-hour nap, wake up, and then hit it again, and then say call it a night. But I believe it is. I believe it's 50-50, I mean, you got to be here too to be able to put the physical part, physical part, if you're not here, then you're not basically waking up in the morning, you're not eating right, and you're slacking, So I believe
this is exactly what I was going to say, Stryker. I was going to agree with you in the sense where you have to wake up and you have to do all this. You have to prepare yourself every day. So that's your mental training right there for you. You're doing it right there. And that's your mental training. And that should take you far, and that should get you, the win in that sense.
The last question is, after watching last night's fights and so many others in the past, we see the judges, they're either corrupt or they're watching the wrong fight or they're playing on their phones. What recommendations would you as a world champion make to change the judging system in boxing?
I don't want to call the judges corrupt, and I don't want to call boxing corrupt. I don't speak bad about boxing, the sport of boxing, as much as you guys may have already found and whatnot. I'm gonna stand with my sport, and I'm gonna say, you know what? There can be unbearable judging, and there can be scores that you think the judges were probably playing tic-tac-toe at the time and not watching the boxing match. But you know, it's something that you just have to just really, really, grit your teeth and swallow, and then go on to the next one, because there's going to be another boxing match, and there's going to be a better decision. There's going to be a better decision at that point. It's not just going to be, that single fight. Of course, there's going to be a bad fight, but that's life. It happens.
Coach Dave, you have an answer?
Yeah, let me chime in on this for a minute. Back in 2011, I partnered up with a certain champion back in the day. I won't mention his name right now, but he's from the Philippines. Okay. And I was working on this heavily because it was a very frustrating thing for me to witness as, an ex-boxer, never made it to the pros, never did nothing like that. But being the fan that I have been for my whole life, training fighters off and on throughout my life, the frustration was so heavily when it came to the judges. I mean, the only thing that ever guaranteed you a win at that point there was a knockout, and so what we did is we turned around and we developed an app that brought in the public, and that app that brought in the public would actually get people from all over the world. So it would actually know like where the favorite was coming from. So you'd eliminate that, and you'd actually take a neutral stand of the public from around the world that would watch the fights and allow them to go in there and judge it themselves and just take a look at what the people think. So therefore, we came up with this app called You Pick the Champ. Now, that kind of went on the back burner because that app was also a part doing what kind of what DAZN was doing. We beat them out, but the DAZN came out heavier, harder, and stronger. But who's to say? I still think in the future that can happen, where we could bring in the fourth judge or the fifth judge. Let's put it that way, and that should be the public. I think the public should have a little bit of a hand in there, and you're always going to have a people's champ, and that's why we should always have a people's champ belt. All right, so you lost this, but the people thought you didn't. Let's give you the people's champ belt. Let's even it up. It doesn't mean that everybody gets a belt. It's just saying that, hey, you know what? Judges went this way, public went this way.
That's a great idea, Dave. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Pick up where you left off, Dave. I think that's an awesome idea.
After I get done, cleaning up what I'm doing now with, with everything that's happening with all of us and including the gym, definitely we are going to pick that back up, plus a couple of other things.
Yeah.
Dave, I'd like to work with you on something like that. I'd
Absolutely.
Really do. When we meet up at our studio, we got to talk about that.
Absolutely.
That's a definite.
Jaime, you had something to say about that also.
I just think it's pretty simple, man. If at the end of each round, I think the judges need to display how they judge that round.
Yeah.
And that right there kind of keeps them, keeps them also kind of keeps them in check.
Yeah.
For the public to put them accountable. I mean, that would be the best way. And maybe all three judges, and then also, like Trujillo said, the public.
Their choice. Yeah, I agree with that.
Hey, Stryker, what's your opinion on that?
I believe that sometimes some of the judges they just gotta really do their job instead of someone. I believe they're like the amateurs. They go based on favoritism, or on what's going around them instead of just actually being like, he lost a round and that's what it was,
Yeah.
Politics.
Yeah. You know what, guys? One of the questions I've always had ever since, for many years now, why don't they introduce, when they introduce the fighters, they introduce the referee, they should bring all three judges up so everybody could see them. So after the fight, if they you have to introduce these guys. People need to see who they are. So people, when they get in the elevator and they basically screwed up the card, people could jam them up, hold them responsible. What do you guys think?
That's Adelaide Bird.
Expose them, show their pictures, have them get up there and wave. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
You know what? Yeah.
You want them to go out there and then you're gonna have a bunch of fans who have just heard the decision that they made. They're gonna be right there.
You know what? Everybody's liable. There's consequences for everything, right?
Come on, we'll keep them on their toes.
Definitely, you gotta hide that one.
Yeah, I mean that's my opinion, and hopefully somebody's listening and they're gonna say that's a great idea. Let's start exposing who they are. Yeah. Well, guys, we're at the end of the show. Why don't we go around and then Jaime is going to end the show. If you have anything else, Jaime, what I was thinking, just go around. We'll start out with Coach Trujillo. Any announcements, anything that you have, Coach? And then we'll go around, and then Big Jaime will end the show with any announcements that he may have. Coach Dave, what do we start off with you?
Well, it looks like we're going to have a little lull in the boxing world here for a minute, and then it's going to pick back up. I'm excited to see what's going to happen here towards the third and fourth quarter in the boxing world. I want to see those things happen eventually, like the Wilder Fury fight. Those ones coming up. I want to see what Canelo ends up happening with him, with Manny Pacquiao as well. I'd like to see what's going on there. Little Tank, I want to see what Tank's got coming up too. I mean, it's just we got a lot of talent out there and a lot of battles out there to be done. Definitely. And it seems to me like for some reason we're starting to get a little bit more fights that should be happening again now. The one we're really missing out on, I believe, is Crawford. Don't know what's happening with him. I know things come up and then they go back down. I believe in all reality that the fear of Crawford, to tell you the truth, is what's happening out there. It's not his, I don't believe it's his, Bob Arum and Top Rank. I mean, there's a lot of politics always in everything we do, but I believe that they're really scared of this guy. And I think it's time somebody really steps up to that plate and gets a taste of what he's truly got out there for real talent, because we haven't seen his talent yet. And I'd like to see something happen good with the Crawford camp coming up here. But I want to tell Stryker, congratulations. Welcome back. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you for coming on our show. It's a pleasure. And, we'd love to interview you again after your fight. And, let's just keep in touch, and let's, we like to bring up the gente and anybody who's thank all of you guys for sitting down right here and being able to talk to you guys, and for having me on the show today.
Thank you. We'll be watching you on the 31st.
Yeah. I appreciate you bringing the old school up, Stryker. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Hey guys, the announcement that what I want, my ending words are this. Last Friday, I spent the day with Derek Santos. Derek Santos is a boxing coach, and also I think he's the CEO and owner of the gym in Boca Raton, the PAL gym. He's getting ready to move his location to his own facility. Derek Santos was the coach for Sullivan Barrera last week when he fought Zurdo Ramirez. Also in his gym, he trains there and also lives nearby. I just found out Chris Algieri, who's I think he's fighting in your card on the 31st. I think Chris Algieri. Well, he's training there, so I'm going to get a chance to meet with him, interview him. But the interesting part, gentlemen, I don't know anything about UFC. I'm not a UFC fan. Once again, I'm a boxing fan. There's nothing wrong with being UFC, but I think it's a generational thing. My nephews, my grandchildren, everybody loves UFC, and my respect. But there's a gentleman that's fighting Oscar de la Hoya on September, I think 11th or 9th. A UFC fighter by the name of Bellator. Yes. Well, he trains. Well, he trains in Boca Raton at this gym. So, and his trainer is going to be Derek Santos. So I'm going to have the inside track on that. So I'll be able to interview him and see his training and give you up to date info on his preparation for the Oscar de la Hoya fight. So I'm excited. It's going to be great, and I'll keep you guys posted. Mike, did you have anything else that you want to say before we leave?
Yeah, I just wanted to say good luck to Stryker on the 31st. We would definitely be looking, and if we could get you back on the show, you know, telling us about how great your win was, that'd be fantastic as well. You know, also, you know, these last fights, Castellano, Charlo, you know, it was a bit of an exposure. Uncle Nacho exposed that one. We had that earlier beforehand, but you know, with a fight like that, you're gonna have the challenger who's gonna come to the champion. Well, he was champion as well, but Charlo he was more popular, and he had more championships, and you're gonna have that, and it's kind of like having to beat, even though you are champion, he may have a little bit more belts, and you're gonna have to. He's the higher up in the stage, so you gotta make sure that you beat him unbelievably, and he, you know, he may, in the judges' eyes, he didn't do just that much. Maybe the scores were off, but ultimately he didn't get the nod because he didn't do that much more that he should have. Which, you know, I mean, that's the only thing that I could say for the judges. But I mean, congratulations to Castellano for showing that he's still one to reckon with, and he's gonna be one for a while.
Yeah.
And you know, that's all I gotta say about that one.
Big Jaime, it's all yours, Big Jaime.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate my man here for coming back. I know he's going to make a statement, and you know, we're proud of you for taking that stance. And I just want to thank you, and I can't wait to interview you after the fight. And if we can close with you just saying to the audience here who you are and welcome to Rolling with the Punches, so that way we could use that as an ad to promote your fight.
Rolling with the Punches. I'm Ivan Delgado, AKA Stryker. You know, I'm a LA boxer representing South Central LA, and in a way too, you know, representing everybody that I know from South Central, and representing those that are, you know, coming from the hood. You know, what can I tell you? You know, I'm a Mexican American fighter. My mom's from Michoacan. My dad's from Guerrero, and I started training at a boxing club. As an amateur, I had over 80 amateur fights. I had my ups and downs. I came out of prison. I turned pro in 2022. Robert Diaz looked at me. He signed me. And with Golden Boy, I fought for them for 5 years. I stopped boxing for 2 years. I went back in jail, but I'm back out for good. You know, I took a fight, which is this July 31st with Carl Dargan. And I believe it's gonna be televised on Fox Sports 1. It's gonna be on their PBC Boxing. And hopefully you guys are able to see me, you know, rolling with the punches.
Great opportunity.
Thank you.
Great opportunity. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. You know,
all the best.
You know, everybody, my Anchondo, Jaime, and yeah.
That's right.
Gracias.
All right, gentlemen. Well, that will conclude our Sunday night edition with Rolling. Woo! Talking about rolling.
That's it.
Talking about rolling. Rolling. Anyway, we're Rolling with the Punches TV. Thank you.